So let's get back to Katie for a second. So making hay while the sun shines, right? This is an interesting time. So what is her next step? She's doing, 3 or 4 times over what she was doing monthly coming into this year. She's blowing away her goals, right? Making money hand over fist. What are you telling her is the next stage?
Well, what's interesting is she's a little bit dissatisfied with how much time she could spend with each customer, because as I said earlier,
Mm,
that was where she got her joy. So the struggle for her now is she feels like she's not giving her customer time. And with my coaching, if you're going to build a team, you're not going to touch every customer deeply. You just
right.
don't have time.
Yep.
And so she's getting over that a little bit. And it's what I was saying earlier about creating a great experience. If that's truly what you want to do and you're doing a handful of loans every month, it's pretty easy to do that. It's pretty easy
Hmm.
to check on your borrower, build a relationship, because nothing else is coming up. And now as your business grows, it becomes a lot more difficult. So, in preparation for what's next, I think she is focused on taking care of as many customers now as she can, really to keep them happy and add value to them by reducing the payment they have already have. But the benefit to Katie is that they remain in her database, so
Hmm.
that over the course of time, these people will again buy a second home. They'll move up. They'll want to pull cash out to consolidate debt.
Hmm.
And I doubt seriously that people will be refinancing out of 2.5% to get a lower rate, but
Hmm.
maybe. Um, so I think the thing that she's building now is that that team that allows her now the ability to go out and continue to build more relationships, so and the customers still be taken care of. So putting in
Yeah.
systems like you just suggested is a great idea. I mean, I think one of the reasons that how Katie differentiated herself was from the client gift at the end. She put so much time into a gift, and it was how do I explain this? So a system that provides a gift, like we have lots of guys in the office that a closing gift automatically goes out,
Hmm.
but as a customer, you could tell that I just received a gift that automatically goes out,
Yeah.
where she would get these elaborate baskets and fill them with things of interest of the customer. So if somebody was into traveling, there'd be things like that, or golf, there'd be golf stuff. And she'd really go out, she'd go to Home Goods and she'd buy gifts and she'd fill these baskets or tin pans, and her assistants would help her a little bit. And at the closing, there'd be this huge basket that they knew that it was her that produced it, because
Hmm.
she acted like that through the whole process of really caring. When she's talking to the customer, she's interested in what they're doing, what their kids are doing, wherever they're going on vacation and things like that. And that just came naturally for her.
Yeah.
For most loan officers, it doesn't. And so for most loan officers that want to grow their business, it has to be systematic,
Yeah.
because it's using your strengths. So if somebody else has, I wouldn't say Katie's strength is structuring a loan. Although she's good at it, it's not something that
Yeah.
is her superpower. Her superpower is relationship building. Other
Hmm.
loan officers' strength is structuring a deal, or um, systems
Hmm.
and procedures. Lean on your strengths, and then get help for the rest.
Yeah, that's a big lesson to learn, and it's interesting that she's kind of dealing with the options for growth and looking at it and looking at spending less time with her clients as a bad thing, and seriously having to deal with, like, how
Yeah.
much do I want to grow if it means less time with my clients? Because I know a lot of people, especially in real estate and mortgage, that's the first thing they would jettison is the time
Right.
with the
Right.
clients. They'd rather spend, like, the first chance they get to go start building a team, they want to start withdrawing from as much of the client facing stuff as possible. And I get it, because I've been there. But it is funny that she has the opposite problem. And is there any reason why someone like that couldn't bring in someone as a junior partner into the team that fulfilled more of an analyst role, because they have that in financial advisor firms. You have the young gun, MBA fresh out of college, that his job
Yeah.
is to analyze the market, but you have the guy at the top is the one that's building the relationships, shaking hands, and taking people out to dinner. Is that an option for her to expand that way?
Sure it is. I think, she's a little bit gun shy because she got burned by an assistant about a year ago. And so she's a little gun shy to bring somebody too into her business, but
Right.
she's slowly building, and trying to figure that out. It's loan officers in general, and her specifically, know that they're the ones that can get it done right. Their commissions are on the line, their reputation's on the line, so they tend to do much of the work themselves. And the loan officers that grow, and there's some really superstar loan officers across the country that are doing way more business than Katie, have built these repeatable systems and brought in team members that are assigned specific duties that are their strengths, and
Mm-hmm.
that could include being an analyst, being putting together the file, quoting rates. Um, I mean, the key for Katie is talking to the customer initially,
Mm-hmm.
given the warm, um, and fuzzy feeling to the customer that they're going to be cared for, because they
Mm-hmm.
truly are going to be cared for. Use video technology to check in. You could put together, um, programs to where videos automatically go out just
Mm-hmm.
so the customer sees their face, and they're excited. Katie could express how excited she is with the loan being approved, and it doesn't necessarily have to spend more time doing that on our files. What
Yeah.
what Katie should be doing is what she loves, and that's the relationship building. She should be out with her real estate agents
Yeah.
and financial advisors, building strong relationships so that they're both of them provide a great experience. Both of their businesses grow. Um, and there's only so much time to actually meet with the customer. So right now, her intention is to talk to every customer coming in. She doesn't want a customer to come get a loan from her and never meet her or talk with her. So she's doing
Right.
basically a 30-minute, um, mortgage coach presentation to her customer that really defines the direction that loan should go. This comes up with some of the solutions,
Mm-hmm.
and basically structures the deal. And then her assistant basically gathers the information, puts it together, gives it to processing, and Katie shouldn't see the loan anymore. However,
Mm-hmm.
she does. She jumps in, way too often to try to help. And
It's all
it,
part of the process, you
oh
know.
boy,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny because I think until you've been burned by someone you've hired, you're not a real entrepreneur. So tell her welcome to the club. We've all been there, and it's gotta get back on the gotta get back on the horse. Um,
With so many of the guests I've had on my podcast share their systems, and you know although I can't stand listening to me, um, and my voice, we listen to the guests frequently because they share their systems
yeah.
on on how they do it, and in hopes that Katie would grasp it and want to take some of those systems on herself.
Yeah. No, everybody has to make their own decision on where they want to grow. And I know a lot of people that they grow beyond where they want to be. And then they kind of come back to an equilibrium where they get the lifestyle they want, they get the kind of business they want. And then some people just keep pushing, and everybody's a little bit different in how that manifests. And we'll see how it works for her and kind of what she does through the end of the year. I've got one last kind of question for you, just about some advice that you'd give for other people that are kind of going through this period. But before we do that, what's the best way for people just to reach out, connect, maybe have a conversation with you about Partners Mortgage and what it's like to be part of the culture there and just all that fun stuff? How do they connect?
Well, I can be reached at dant@partnersmortgage.com. My cell phone's 916-847-4946. Feel free to text me or call me, email me anytime, and I'd be happy to help.
Love it. All right. So in terms of like what we're going through right now, where, you know, an uptick in the rates could kind of shut off the refi business. You mentioned that, and purchase business. Who knows? We'll see. It depends on what happens politically and economically over the next 6 months, right?
Right.
So, what advice in this kind of climate are you giving to especially younger loan officers that just things are rolling, business is coming a little bit easier, they've got more money in their bank account than ever. What are you telling them right now?
I'm emphasizing, a refinance I call a sprint. That's, get business now, you get it fast. It's the low hanging fruit.
Mhm.
But building a sustainable long term business is the purchase business.
Mhm.
And the industry's always been threatened with this is the end. Like in the dot-com phase basically said the traditional mortgage lender is gone. Real estate offices started opening lending companies. We were supposed to be eliminated. 2008 collapse. We were supposed to be eliminated. So there's always something on the horizon. No qual, easy qual loans going away,
Mhm.
um, and there's been this constant fear that we're being replaced by something. And so I've been in this business since 1984, and um, we're still here. And I think the advice I would give give anybody really is to have a big part of their day focused on the building of a sustainable business. Refis aren't building on a sustainable business. It's taking care of your customer, which you should. They're lifelong customers. They're in your database. You drip on them occasionally with email and then call them and do a check in with them. But building a sustainable business means uh, developing relationships with people that you can serve their customers with, and that's real estate agents, financial advisors. So our new loan officers, I'm preaching that they need to be spending, at least half their day prospecting for
Mhm.
long-term business. The other advice I'm giving is making sure they save their money, because it's the money you've got that gives you some peace of mind when times slow down a little bit. That you've got, your life isn't being disrupted because business slows down a little bit. If you're continually focused on building your business and you've got capital and reserves, um, I think that's what's necessary to build a sustainable business. And then the last thing that I talk about a lot that loan officers don't really totally get, it's the small things. It's the other stuff in life that could take your business down. So
Right.
it's making sure that you're keeping your relationship with your spouse and your children strong through these busy times. It's making sure you take care of your health. I've seen over the years so many loan officers celebrating their success, going out and partying, um, really damaging relationships with their significant others, not saving money, buying too many things. It's those little things that'll take down the business
Mhm.
more than not prospecting. I've seen so many loan officers that were extraordinarily successful end up getting divorced or having drug or alcohol dependency or going broke and having to start all over, dealing with all kinds of mental issues now, because they weren't uh, taking care of themselves and what's important to them in times like we're in right now. So
Yeah.
I think those are the three things right now: prospect, take care of your financial base, eliminate as much debt as you can while you're making money, and making sure that the important things, your key relationships and your health, are being well taken care of during these busy times.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. I've got a friend of mine that's he's a legend in the executive recruiting industry as a coach, and said to me one time, "It's like when I have clients come in and you actually dig into why their business isn't further along because they want to, everybody shows up and they want to double their business. It's like it's almost always personal stuff. He's like, at some point, if a client sticks around for long enough, I'm coaching them through marriage therapy or a
Hmm.
divorce or
Hmm.
how to end an affair or something like that. Like it's always the personal stuff that gets in our way the most, that ultimately keeps us from doubling if that's our goal. Like we say that's our goal, but that ends up implying some personal change that needs to happen. And if you don't take care of those small things, like those key relationships, then it gets to the point where you can't grow because things are broken in the rest of your life, and it keeps you from focusing on even the one thing that is going well. So yeah, it's 100% true. You know, he's seen it across 30 years of coaching, as you have too. It is a sad but unfortunate truth.
And it's a whole nother topic maybe for our next conversation. But it is all that stuff that
Hmm.
you know builds a quality life or can take you down at the same time,
Yep,
that
100%.
people don't pay attention to.
I know. I know. Well, this has been fun, and I hope people take a lot from the conversation. Not just about how Katie's done it, but the inspiration that it's possible. The inspiration that if there's certain things that she's done well, like for example, building relationships with agents that went on to become really good, the social media stuff, the customer experience stuff. We've talked about how those things can be systematized, and it doesn't matter what personality type you are; those things can be done, and just keep in mind those last 3 points, Dan, that you brought out about what to do right now. I hope people go back and rewind and go over those things and take notes, because that was really, really good. I'm taking notes for myself, because you're 100% right. Like I'm going through the same thing in my space. So yeah, we're in a very, very similar position. So I really appreciate you having me back on. It's always such a pleasure to have these conversations with you.
Great talking with you, man. I really enjoy our conversations and look forward to another one soon.